We have y equals negative 2 to the x. What is that negative doing? So there's a reflection. Do you know which axis? Yeah, over the x-axis. Good. Now, if we were just looking at points, a reflection over the x-axis means it's actually the opposite y value. So it's an opposite y value. So that's a reflection over the x-axis. So we have our points. Let's go ahead and label our parent function points here at the top of your page. We have 0, 1, and -1. And then what goes with 0? 1. What goes with 1? A. And then with -1? 1 over A. All right, so these are the points. Okay, so what's going to happen here is all my y values are going to be opposite. So instead of going up 1, I'm now going to go down 1. Instead of right 1 up 2, I'm going to go right 1 down 2. Instead of left 1 up 1 over A, I'm going to go left 1 down 1 over A. So everywhere I would go up, I now go down. So I have down 1, right 1, down my base, which is 2, and then left 1 down the reciprocal of the base, which is 1/2. Make sure you draw your asymptotes. Draw your curve. We're missing one other thing, the labels. So we have 1, -2, and -1, -1/2. And again, if it's on the axis, you don't need to label it. And what's the domain here? All real numbers. Range? -infinity to 0. So I heard a lot of people say 0 first, and that's great because you do want to use the asymptote, but you have to decide, is it -infinity to the asymptote or the asymptote to infinity? We are underneath the asymptote, so it's going to be -infinity up to the asymptote. All right? Make sure that's not inclusive because it's never going to touch. X-intercept? None. Y-intercept? 0, -1. And asymptote? Y equals 0. Okay. How many things are happening to example B here? 2 things this time. We always start with the reflections. All right, what is the reflection over here? Over the y-axis now. And the reason why it's over the y-axis is because we have all opposite x values. So where I would once go right, I now go left. And then what does the 2 do? It's a stretch. What kind of a stretch? Vertical. Good. Vertical stretch by how much? By 2. Does that change the x or the y? The y. Vertical changes the y, and we're going to go now twice as far. So it's a multiple of twice of what it originally was. So let's see here then. There's 2 ways to do this. What is our parent function here actually? E to the x, right? So our points are 0, 1, 1e, and -1, 1 over e. And then we can actually do these steps to the points, okay? And what I mean by that, if we're reflecting over the y-axis, that means I'm doing the opposite x values. So this doesn't change, but this becomes -1e and +1, 1 over e. And then the vertical stretch by 2 means it's twice y. So it's 0, and then this is 2 and -1, 2e, and then 1. And twice 1 over e is the same thing as 2 over e. Now e, what's the value of e? 2.7. What's twice 2.7? 5.4. Good. And then what is 1 over e approximately? 0.4. What's twice that? 0.8. So we would label with this, but this is what we're going to try to graph. Does that make sense? I feel like with ease especially, it is really helpful to write the workout, but you don't have to. Some of you are really good with the graphing and you can do this in your head, and that's completely okay. All right, I'm just looking that you have this and draw the right curve, and if you can do that, then you're fine. So here we're going to have our asymptote. There is no shift up or down, so I actually know the asymptote stays the same. Okay, I know everything's going to be up. I know my highest point is 5.4, so I'm going to draw 6 tick marks. And then we have then 0. I'm going up twice as far, 0, 2. All right. Normally I would go over 1, up twice the base because of the 2, but I know I'm going left 1, up twice the base. So twice e is up here. So that's -1, 2e. And then instead of going left, and then left and up the reciprocal, I'm going right and up twice the reciprocal, so that's right and up 2 over e, which I know then that is 1, 2 over e. Since this is on the axis, I leave it. And then I draw the curve. All right. So what's the domain here? All real numbers, range, x-intercept, y-intercept, 0, 2, asymptote, y equals 0.